25th, 2025 meeting of the Rome City Commission. We begin every meeting with the invocation and pledge to the flag, and tonight Commissioner Randy Quick is going to handle that for us. And if you will, please stand and join us as we allow Commissioner Quick to do that.
If you would join me in prayer. Gracious and Heavenly Father God, we thank you for bringing us here tonight and for the opportunity to serve this wonderful community. We ask your divine guidance and wisdom in all of our actions. Grant us the spirit of unity and understanding that all decisions promote the common good of all citizens. Help us to work solely for the betterment of our city. For it's in your most holy and precious name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Quick. Mr. Clerk, if you will, call the roll.
Yes, sir. Mayor McDaniel.
Here.
Commissioner Bojo.
Here.
Brock. Here. Cochran.
Here.
Beeman.
Here.
Doss.
Here.
Quick.
Here.
Robinson.
Here.
You've received the minutes of the August 11th, 2025 meeting of the Commission. We will approve those by common consent. We have no proclamations, no registered guests, no resolutions, nothing on first reading, nothing on second reading, nothing continued on first reading. We do have 3 items on public hearing. I'm going to ask Bryce Wood, our planner, if he will, to begin with the first one, item A.
Thank you, sir. The first item we have for you this evening is file Z25-06-04 for the property at 408 Cedar Avenue. The property is outlined on your screen. It's always been occupied by a single-family home. However, it has always been zoned heavy industrial. The applicant is simply seeking to correct that zoning and protect his home. Here's the zoning map of the area. His application. And pictures of the home and the surrounding area. This does come with a staff recommendation of approval and unanimous approval from the Planning Commission. Thank you.
Thank you. I will now open the public hearing. Is anyone here to speak in favor of this proposal? Is anyone here to speak in opposition of the proposal? I will now close the public hearing, and I will entertain a motion.
I make a motion we approve this request.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Mr. Clerk, call the roll.
Sir. Commissioner Bojo.
Yes.
Brock. Yes. Cochran.
Yes.
Beeman.
Yes.
Doss.
Yes.
Quick.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
The next item for you this evening is file Z25-06-05 for the property at 412 Cedar Avenue. This is another single-family home that has always been zoned heavy industrial. Once again, the applicant is simply wanting to protect their home. You have a zoning map of the area. This is a couple doors down from the one that just got approved. This is the application itself. And pictures looking into the property and the surrounding area. This comes with a staff recommendation of approval and unanimous approval from the Planning Commission. Thank you.
Thank you. I will now open the public hearing. Is anyone here to speak in favor of this proposal? Is there anyone here to speak in opposition? I will now close the public hearing and entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we approve this rezoning request.
Have a motion, need a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second, any discussion? Mr. Clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner Bojo?
Yes.
Brock? Yes. Cochran?
Yes.
Beeman?
yes,
Doss?
Yes.
Quick?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, and the third item for you this evening is file Z25-08-05 for the property at 2435 Shorter Avenue. The property is shown on your screen here. It is a Shorter Avenue address, though it does have frontage on Westland Drive. This is a zoning map of the area. The entire property is currently zoned community commercial. It's my understanding that the applicants have since acquired this small triangle next door, which gives them more frontage on Westland, enough for a commercial drive. The request is to rezone the rear portion of the property to multifamily residential to allow for a townhouse development. Based on that, you have a site plan here that shows up to 30 units that, according to the site plan, fronts on Westland. This is looking into the property from Westland and looking in one direction, directly across the street, in the opposite direction. And then, of course, because it had frontage on Shorter Avenue, we placed a sign there too. One of the neighbors submitted this that he asked that I show you. He's going to get up and speak in a second. He can elaborate if he likes. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Our future land use map does designate this property as commercial. You could potentially leave it commercial. That opens up any commercial use that could use the frontage onto Westland. This did come with a staff recommendation of, excuse me, a staff recommendation of approval with conditions. The conditions that my staff came up with were that the planning department must approve the site plan for the development of the project prior to the issuance of a development permit or initiation of any land disturbance or construction activities. Number two, that any and all parking or security lighting shall be shielded and designed to cast light downward and inward. Light posts on private property shall not exceed 20 feet in height. Number four, that the light poles and fixtures shall be compatible with the architecture of buildings on property and with the streetscape elements on adjacent property, and that any all buffers, setbacks, and landscape strip requirements must be met as noted in the Unified Land Development Code. This can certainly have additional conditions if you see fit. For instance, it could relate to ingress and egress, density, et cetera, additional buffers, you name it. The Planning Commission made a motion to deny. That motion was defeated, so it therefore becomes a de facto motion of approval. And that vote was 3-5. Thank you.
Thank you. I now open the public hearing for this. Before I begin, I think we're going to have people speak in favor of this and people speak in opposition. This process for any proposal for a development, residential, commercial, whatever, if it's in the city limits of Rome, it begins with an application or a conversation with our planning department. It moves on and goes before the planning commission and then comes before the full city commission. And we've had a lot of conversation downstairs. Our planning staff has a deep dive into the process, and the Planning Commission looks at it. We are the final say. You may not agree with what we decide, and we may not decide anything. When we open the public hearing, the people that want to speak in favor will be given a total of 10 minutes. So if there are 5 or 6 of you that want to speak in favor, you'll have to divide that 10 minutes among yourselves. If there are a lot of people that want to speak in opposition, you'll have to divide that time among yourselves. And our clerk, Joe Smith, will keep up with the time. And I will now ask for anyone that wants to speak in favor of this application to come to the podium. And when you get to the podium, if you will, give us your name and address, please.
Pat O'Neill, 163 Rivers Drive. Thanks for your time. And as far as the conditions go by the planning department, the owner's willing to go along with all those. And as far as the trees go, one of the comments or one of the things in the slides, we'll have to address that when we get plans approved by the city. They won't get approved unless we address that. Stormwater management, there'll be less stormwater leaving the site after it's developed than what leaves it now. By law, we have to do that to get the plans approved. As far as traffic goes, I went this morning from 7 to 8. I took pictures. They're on my phone. I printed them out, didn't bring them. The traffic coming out of this place is going to go down Westland to Croker, which is about 500 feet to get to Croker, and then they're going to get on shorter, 99% of the traffic. There was not one car in any of my pictures. I took one every 5 minutes, pretty much from 7 to 8, and there was nothing. So I don't think the traffic's that big of a concern, and it could be an entrance to, by right, to an adult bookstore, car wash. The moratorium will go away one day on the convenience store, so it could be a convenience store. And they could have an entrance there. Liquor store. The rest I can't think of them, but I think that's pretty much it, and I'll be here to answer questions.
Anyone else here to speak in favor? Anyone here to speak in opposition? If you will give us your name and address, please.
Pardon me? That's all right. My name is Frank Jankowski. I live at 4 Westland Place. Throughout this process, it has often seemed that our neighborhood has been placed in the position of defending against a predetermined outcome, that this development will be approved. Yet the burden should not rest on the residents whose homes, streets, and quality of life are most directly affected. Instead, the developer should bear the responsibility of demonstrating why this project serves the public interest, not merely private profit. It is fundamentally wrong for the zoning classification of a property to be changed based solely on what is most profitable to the developer, without meaningful consideration of the long-term impacts on the neighborhood and its residents. Zoning decisions are not meant to maximize private return. They are meant to uphold the adopted comprehensive plan, protect adjacent property, and promote orderly, compatible development. With this in mind, I call your attention to the following sections of the current Unified Land Development Code, which establishes the standards for zoning and the protections intended for neighborhoods such as ours. Inconsistency with current zoning. The applicant seeks to change from community commercial to multifamily residential. Per ULDC section 2.2.4, rezoning must consider whether they are in keeping with the existing zoning pattern and adjacent uses. Current zoning maps, if you look at your exhibits C1 and C2, I believe you all have those, confirm that there are no other MR parcels exist in this area. All adjacent properties are either commercial along Shorter Avenue or single-family residential along Westland Drive and surrounding streets. Including MR here would constitute spot zoning, an isolated change inconsistent with the broadening zoner framework. Conflict with comprehensive plan and future land use. ULDC section 2.2.4 requires zoning to be consistent with the comprehensive plan. The future land use map, Exhibit D, shows this corridor transitioning from incorrectly designated community commercial to low-density residential, correcting past mapping errors. Approving MR would directly be counter to the adopted planning documents, undermining the intent to protect the residential character of Westland Drive. History of improper zoning classification. The 1962 Assessor's Map, Exhibit A, shows Westland Drive clearly platted and developed as a residential street. In the late 1990s, during the zoning map creation, the city erroneously classified existing Westland Drive homes as community commercial, if you look at Exhibit B. It's a simple line drawn by somebody with a Sharpie on that map. This administrative mistake distorted the zoning pattern. The city has since acknowledged and begun correcting this error in future planning documents. If you look at Exhibit D, rezoning now to MR would perpetuate and worsen the original mistake rather than resolve it. ULDC purposes of districts. MR, multifamily residential, section 3.3.2F is designed to accommodate higher density attached housing where appropriate transitions exist, usually near existing multifamily, mixed use, or in obsolete commercial centers. This site is surrounded by single-family residential and active commercial. It lacks the contextual support for multifamily, no adjacent multifamily residential zones, no large-scale mixed use, and no obsolete commercial strips. By contrast, suburban residential, section 3.3.2B, and low-density residential designations in the future land use map better reflect the neighborhood character. Adverse impact on adjacent properties. ULDC section 2.2.4 prohibits rezonings that would adversely affect the usability of adjacent or nearby property. Adding MR density here would funnel traffic into Westland Drive, already overburdened by school traffic from West End Elementary, destroy the intended residential buffer between Shorter Avenue's commercial corridor and the Westland neighborhood, introduce height, massing, and traffic volumes incompatible with single-family lots directly abutting the site. This rezoning is not in keeping with the ULDC or adopted planning documents. It would convert parcel H13X326, erroneously mapped as community commercial, into an even more inappropriate zoning district, multifamily residential, despite surrounding single-family and commercial uses, and despite the future land use map correcting this corridor back to low-density residential. Approval would perpetuate a 1990s mapping error, contradict the comprehensive plan, and fail multiple ULDC section 2.2.4 standards. The proper course is to maintain the existing CC zoning or return the property to residential zoning consistent with the neighborhood. Thank you.
Anyone else here to speak in opposition?
We were supposed to have
About 4.5 minutes left.
My name's Beth Van Dyke. I live on 11 Westland Drive. I lived at 1 Westland Place back in the 70s, so I know that area very closely. My objection, I just learned of this a couple of weeks ago driving up Deerbrook and seeing a sign about it, and so I started researching what was going on. My objection would be the entrance onto Westland Place. If you must put a multi-residence there, the most sense would be to put it exiting and ingress and egress off of Shorter. There's a light right there. And keep that buffer at the back of the property. The traffic, he may have been there at the wrong part of the day, but the traffic around the school, and when I come out onto Brown Fox and go down to the school at certain times of the day, they turn me up Deerbrook, and I turn that corner onto West Lynn and then go down to Coker and have to do that to get out to Shorter in order to come into town. So the traffic is going to be an issue. You're adding at least 30, up to maybe 60 cars. You're adding that many more kids to the school. So it is going to create a traffic problem, and that's my biggest objection, is to have the entrance there on Westland Place.
Hello, my name is Carol Willis. I have lived at 102 Brentwood Drive since 1985, and my older daughter and her husband, right after they got married, bought 102 Deerbrook Drive, 2 blocks away and right around the corner from the school where both of my daughters graduated at West End. It's a great neighborhood. We have seen for sale signs on the property, thinking somebody wanted to buy this property for a house. And we've always laughed, how in the world can someone build something on that piece of property? So I agree. I mean, I don't want it to be built, period. But if it is, I definitely think it would be wrong for it to enter and exit through the main Westland. It should go through Shorter. But my daughter and son-in-law's house is at the bottom of Deerbrook. And they have, ever since they've lived there, had a problem with water coming down. And, you know, a lot of times, a lot of puddles and more in their yard. And they've called and been told that there's nothing that the city can do, that it basically happened when the church built their property up above their property. So there are issues that I think, if it goes through, definitely need to be considered. And I really hope you'll talk with neighbors. And I question if all of you have actually been to Westland and looked at where we're talking about. I feel strongly that this is an invasion into our neighborhood. Thank you.
Anyone else to speak in opposition? I now close the public hearing. Rebuttal? Oh, yes, sir, rebuttal. Would you like to come up? You still have, how much time do you have?
He still has 8.5 minutes.
You have 8.5 minutes for rebuttal.
Won't take that long. Multifamily residential is less inconsistent with the neighborhood than CC. Like I said, they'll be able to use that entrance by right if somebody decides to move in there. A gas station or, like I said, a liquor store, whatever, they'll be able to use it by right. And I would imagine there'd be more traffic in and out at all hours. With that use, yeah, and it's less, multifamily's less intense than CC. Yeah, like I said, the tree ordinance, stormwater management, there will be less runoff leaving the site. In order for us to get plans approved to develop the site, stormwater management will have to be provided, and we have to prove by some means, underground detention or something, that there'll be less runoff leaving the site after the development than before. And the traffic, I was there from 7 a.m., 8 a.m. Not enough cars to back up went down Westland to Croker. And these people aren't going to be leaving. I mean, you're assuming the townhomes are going to be leaving exactly the same time, and they're all going to have kids in the schools. I mean, that's not necessarily so. They're 2-bedroom. I mean, it's not like they're huge family apartment townhomes. Like I said, they're not all leaving at the same time. And it's not like, yes, I don't think it's going to affect traffic that much. I think that's it. Thanks.
Any time left for the opposition?
How much time we got left?
There was 1:40 left.
You have 1:40.
So it's your turn.
Okay, can't go back. I declare the public hearing closed. And I will entertain a motion.
Before we do that, couldn't we ask a couple of questions? Is it all right to ask?
Let's get a motion.
Okay.
Should we get a motion before we have questions?
That's the way this body always does it.
Yeah, let's get a motion, and then, and it may, if anybody wants to make a motion, and then get a second, and then we'd have questions. If anybody wants to make a motion.
I would make a motion with these provisions. All provisions already identified by the Planning Commission, and no egress or regress on Westland Drive. That's my motion.
To approve with those conditions.
All those conditions.
Okay, so the motion is to approve with the conditions that Bryce stated, with an additional condition that there not be ingress or egress off Wesleyan Drive. So there would have to be another access to the property. It could not come from Wesleyan Drive. Or do you want to add the additional, I guess, Deerfield, is it Deerbrook?
Deerbrook,
Doesn't have access.
they can't get there from Deerbrook.
I don't want to increase any more traffic because I don't think any of the photos we've seen were staged.
So we've got that motion. I need a second for that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, so now we have a motion and a second. Any discussion from that motion? Wayne?
Frank, I was going to ask you a question, if you don't mind. Let's just say hypothetically, somebody's probably not going to build a single-family home on that property. What would the neighborhood like to see happen to that, just other than just stay as it is? I mean, what would y'all like to see there? I mean, a development of something or commercial use? I mean, again, like Bryce said, a single family, it's.
The piece of property in question, that little triangle that provides access to Westland Drive, should never have been zoned commercial, period. If you look at the information that I gave you. And if you look at the future land development document that's been prepared by the planning department. They've spent all this time and money doing this, and he's got it bright yellow if you look at Exhibit D. That little triangle and all the property that was incorrectly designated commercial on Westland Drive, they've got it going back to residential. That triangle should go back to residential. I researched the deeds today, and those 6 pieces of property that form this piece of commercial property, not including the little triangle, they were aggregated into one piece of property in 2003 when it was sold to Wendy's International. And it was, so then we had the zoning that was done. Well, that was done before that. That made it commercial. That property can stay commercial, whatever they want to do back there. They go in and out off of Shorter. They don't go in and out off of Westland.
Thank you.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, no, thank you for clarifying.
Any other comments from any of the commissioners or questions?
So I have a question. So someone made a comment about how that if the proposal didn't take place and something else was put on there that was a convenience store, et cetera, how would that make y'all feel about still the traffic coming in and out of? And I address you since you were the spokesperson for the group. Can I ask you that, the gentleman? Yes. Can I ask you that? Yes.
Well, I welcome them to go ahead and put a convenience store, or he has constantly threatened in the last meeting to put an adult bookstore, a liquor store, or a car wash on that back portion of the property because they do not want to allow any access through the front portion of the property where Wendy's is now, because that will reduce the value of Wendy's property. They want to have their cake and eat it too. If they want to try to develop that back property without allowing any access to Shorter, let them give it a shot. Who do you think would build a convenience store that had an access off of some little side street?
I just wanted to hear your comment, that's all.
Okay, sorry. I'm a little wound up about this. This is in my backyard.
I wouldn't worry about a convenience store, because you're right, they're probably not gonna do that. The concern I would have, could put a wrecker service there.
A what?
A wrecker service, and bring junk cars in there. It's a hypothetical, I know, but I'm just saying that's a use that falls within that zoning. And not saying anybody would, I'm just saying that would be an eyesore, but,
Well, I would hope that the city wouldn't allow such things to happen on a private street. You know, there was a mistake made in the original zoning.
no one told me that off of the price. I'm coming in off of Wendy's. If somebody bought them both and had them like that, I'm just,
If they come off the Wendy's, they come off the Wendy's.
yeah.
Any other questions?
Question for Bryce, how many units are proposed for that property?
The site plan shows 30,
30?
which is the maximum based on the acreage. As we discussed in caucus, conceptual site plans are generally very optimistic. They don't have the ability to apply for any sorts of variances. They have literally no wiggle room based on this site plan. I mean, they're at every setback. So,
I'd like to say just one thing about the traffic situation to Mr. O'Neill. I've been in West Rome for 64 of my 72 years, and I was in the first sixth grade class at West End, and I've been delivering grandkids to West End Elementary for the last 12 years. Traffic's horrible in the morning, and it's horrible in the afternoon. After kids are dropped off and kids are picked up, it's not that bad. It's just like every other neighborhood. But Wesleyan and Brown Fox and all of those feeder streets going into the school there, it's bumper to bumper. And if you were there at 8 o'clock, school was already in session. If you're there at 7 o'clock or 7:30, it's horrible. I just wanted to clarify that.
Can I speak?
Yeah, you can say anything you want to say. I'm talking to you.
I got there at 7 o'clock, my picture started at 7, from 7 to 8, I took pictures. In between, where the entrance would be, and around to Coker. Not one time around that curve where their cars backed up. There may have been 3 or 4 cars at the most, and that's, I mean, from my experiences, 4 and a half pictures.
Yeah, when I get there, there are 14 school buses lined up. And when I started taking him when he was a little fellow, we'd sing Wheels on the Bus Go, we'd do the whole thing. He's in the 6th grade now, we don't do that, but traffic's horrible there. And we have never, since I've been on this commission, I'm in my 11th year, we have never turned down a housing development or a subdivision. We made a statement back in 2018 that we're open for business. We want growth. We've approved subdivisions. We've had people from Chulio Road and all these subdivisions of people down behind Walmart and East Rome. They don't like us anymore because we approve subdivisions. And we're going to approve. I think there's enough votes to approve what you want to do, but we're just telling you, you can't dump out into that neighborhood there. That's just my personal opinion. I am one that I don't want that to happen. Now, I can't tell you how these people are going to vote, and I may not get to vote, but my vote would be, I don't want you dumping out on that street there. I don't think it's safe, and I don't think it's consistent with that residential neighborhood.
Well, that's part of my motion, that would not happen.
Anybody else? Commissioner Cochran, I think you had something.
Yeah, Commissioner Quick, is there a density associated with that per acre?
Was there a density aspect?
There was not one listed in our conditions.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, call the question.
Here we have a motion and a second.
Would you read the motion one more time?
The motion, go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
Motion was to approve the request, subject to the 4 or 5 conditions that Bryce outlined a while ago, adding an extra condition that there's no ingress and egress off of Westland Drive.
Okay.
Mr. Clerk, call the vote.
Sir. Commissioner Bojo,
Yes.
Brock,
Yes.
Cochran,
Yes.
Beeman,
Yes.
Doss,
Yes.
Quick,
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Thank you, Bryce. Thank all of you for coming.
Thank you.
Mr. Clerk, you have anything?
No report, Mr. Mayor.
And all we're going to do is go through the rest of the schedule. If any of you want to leave, you're welcome to leave. That was the most exciting part of the night, I promise you.
Downhill from here. Or not everything. I thought the owner was gonna be the developer.
Traffic in that neighborhood is the goal.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah. I would hate.
Mr. Manager?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just have a brief announcement that in light of the Monday, September 1st, Labor Day, the Monday garbage, yard waste, and recycling routes will all get pushed and collected on Tuesday, and Tuesday's route will get picked up on Wednesday. So Thursday, Friday's normal schedule, and we will close our Walker Mountain landfill on Labor Day, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney? Thank you. I have nothing. Commissioner Bojo?
Thank you, sir. Community Redevelopment Committee's meeting scheduled for Wednesday, August the 27th, has been canceled. The Rome Redevelopment Agency, however, will meet on Friday, September 5th, 9 a.m. in the Sam King Room. And Finance Committee will meet August 27th, that's on Wednesday, 10:30 in the Sam King Room. And one last final one, the Water and Sewer Committee will meet Thursday, September 4th, 9 o'clock in the Sam King Room. And Mr. Mayor, that concludes my report.
Sir, Commissioner Brock?
Tourism will meet Wednesday, August 27th, 11:45 at Wind Shape. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Cochran.
No report, Mr. Mayor.
Commissioner Beeman?
I just wanted to highlight up under Keep Rome Floyd Beautiful, last week, Hannah and I worked with the Darlington School students, who's over 100 students, that actually went out and picked up litter in the East Rome area. And I can share that there is some illegal dumping now that's taking place around the walking trails, but it's actually people from not even the area that's bringing trash now that's dumping it. So I just wanted to draw attention to that because Hannah made it she reminded me that that is it a misdemeanor or is it a felony now, that if you bring your trash, you have somebody dump your trash, haul your trash off, and that person did not do what you asked them to do, then that person can be fined for that. So I just wanted to draw attention to that. So is that a felony now or a misdemeanor?
I think that's in the Unified Land Development Code, if I remember. I will check it tomorrow and I can get back to you on it.
Thank
I know
you.
from being on that litter and blight committee, it is up to a $6,300 fine.
People are starting to do that now, so I thought we need to draw attention to that also. And up under the library board, I just wanted to share that we met last week, and I wanted you to know that Amphitheater is now up in operation, and I think that our tourism is going to be responsible for leasing that out. And I also wanted to share, too, that the building is old, so the meeting rooms are beautiful, and they're really nice, but there's leaks in the ceiling. So I just wanted to share that it's kind of hard to lease them because they're leaking, so I just wanted to draw attention that we got some issues right there. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Commissioner Doss?
Thank you, Mayor. The General Administration Committee will meet Tuesday, August 26th. That's tomorrow at 11 a.m. in the Carnegie Training Room. That's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Quick?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the Rome-Floyd County Planning Commission will meet on Thursday, September 4th, 2:30 p.m. here in the commission chambers. And that's all I have, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Robinson?
Yeah, I've got one report, but before I say that, I just wanted to give a shout out and commend Jay Shell for the incredible job that he did with this concert that was put on in Rome, the Leanne Morgan concert. 2 nights, a total sold out. I tell you, he's doing a fantastic job for us at the Forum. And that was a great event that brought a ton of people to downtown and spent a lot of money, hopefully in their stores and hotels and everything. So Jay needs to be commended for that. But
A lot of shopping bags.
a lot of shopping bags.
People walking down the street, there were a lot of shopping bags.
That's
It was really
correct.
good to
Talked
see.
to several of the restaurants. They were booked solid before and after. So it was, that's quite an event, and we appreciate the efforts. All I have is the first Friday concert for September will be held on Friday, September the 5th, starting at 7 o'clock with the performances by the Bad Medicine and the Brother Mojo. So y'all don't want to miss it. And that's all I have.
Thank you. One last thing I want to say, qualifying ended last week, and all 3 of our incumbent commissioners in Ward 2, Commissioner Elena Beeman, Commissioner Jamie Doss, and Commissioner Randy Quick, all qualified to run for re-election. I appreciate your service to the community, all 3 of you. You've got to love it. I mean, I don't know why any of us do it, but you just got to love it. And I appreciate you. I really do. All 3 of you. I can't tell you how much I appreciate what you give to this community.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Mayor, can I say one other thing before y'all leave? Do y'all remember this time last year when we did the Black History Month? We recognized Chief McKinney and Commissioner Collins. But prior to that year, there was a young lady, and I call her young because although she transitioned on Thursday, she was 91. She was in pink and green, and that was Miss Henry's Barium. So I just wanted y'all to know that we gave her flowers while she was here. That meant 1,000 words that we couldn't even give to her. So I just wanted y'all to know she's gone on to glory, but she transitioned, and I'm so glad we were able to honor her. All right, that's all I wanted to share.
Thank you for telling me.
Thank you. We're adjourned. Thank you.
Can we take a look at the sound up here? Yeah.